Could we ever see a Paul versus Paul fight? Do you think he's worthy of that fight?
Nah, I don't wanna fight him. I don't wanna fight him.
I know you're a diehard Browns fan. How are you feeling so far this season?
Not the best, not the best, but hopefully. Oh man, I've been doing.
I love the honesty.
Yeah. I'm always gonna keep it a buck, but it's been 26 years of being a Browns fan. I grew up. My mom loves the Browns, and it's been tough. Other than the one year, a couple years ago, where we made it to the playoffs, but it's been tough. And not to say that I don't hope that they win at all, because that would mean the world to the city and to Cleveland and to me. So I'm rooting for them, but they just need to tighten things up.
Well, Jake, I know you're a guy who wears a lot of hats, YouTuber, boxer, entrepreneur, and you were recently featured on a Netflix docuseries called Untold, which really digged into like your story arc and a lot of that personal side of you. So how cool was that experience for you?
Yeah, it was interesting for people to like follow you around with cameras and be in your life, and then like depict and tell a story of how they see your life. So it's definitely was crazy, and like a lot of just putting a lot of stuff out there. But at the end of the day, I think people got to see a different side of me. I think in the headlines and on social media, people read articles or see tweets or see me on stage at press conferences when I'm acting crazy, but they don't see the human side of me. And I think for a little bit there, people got to see that in this Netflix Untold.
Well, I mean, you've really taken the boxing world by storm. I think it is really cool to see too. I feel like on several occasions, you're very quick to point out the impact you have made in the short amount of time you've been here. So, specifically the amount of extra eyes you brought to the sport that really needed it. So, what do you think it's going to take for this like old school boxing community to really embrace you and what you've fully done? Do you think there's ever going to come a point soon?
I think so. I think the important people in that old school boxing community have embraced me. I mean, the legend Don King himself showing love to me, and it's those types of people, and the Mike Tysons and the Vander Holyfields, you showing me love, the Manny Pacquiao's, the list goes on. All of those people, mean more to me than the person who's sitting at home and hating still. I believe my actions have spoken louder even than my words of what I've said was gonna do to improve this sport. And so to me, that's all that matters. And it's only been 3 years and like 9 months now that I've been a professional boxer. So I'm just getting started with what we're going to accomplish here, both in and outside of the ring.
Obviously, the smack talk from other boxers is expected and everyone loves it. But when you have guys like Luke Rockwood, saying he put his whole paycheck on the line to fight you, and in some other words, I mean, how do you take all that in? Like, is there some point where you're like, come on, bro?
No, people are thirsty. Yeah, like it's a drought out there. So I expect it, and I'm the guy that people want to fight because it's going to do massive numbers. And people like Nate Diaz, fight their whole entire lives, and he made good money. And then he fights me, and he makes the biggest payday of his career. Same with Tyron Woodley, same with Anderson Silva, same with all of these guys. So I'm the money fight, and people want to chase the money in the sport. It's prize fighting at the end of the day. So they're going to want the person who gets them the biggest prize.
And you beat Nate Diaz last month in a unanimous decision. So any updates on when or who you think your next fight's going to be?
Yeah, we're back to the drawing board and just, trying to figure out who's next. There's still a lot of big names out there. I want the Tommy rematch. KSI, we need to finish our beef. So just figuring out what the next steps are.
Of course, I know, I'm sure you've gotten a lot of unsolicited advice over the few years you have been boxing, but has there been any one particular thing someone's told you or, you've really realized about yourself that's helped you mentally change the way you see the sport over the past three years and 19 or 9 months that you've been doing this?
Yeah, that it's interesting. I think man, there's been so much good advice, but I think seeing how my peers around me and other boxers, seeing how they work and emulating their work ethic and seeing how serious they take the sport, even though they've been doing it their whole lives, I've had to play catch up. So I would see what they're doing and want to do even more and go above and beyond because I haven't been doing it as long and I want to compete at the highest level and become world champion. So just being surrounded by other boxers has probably been the most impactful, and truly living the boxing lifestyle, going to the gym, coming home, talking about boxing, watching old tapes, going back to the gym, talking more boxing, and that's been the biggest thing.
One other thing that I feel like is really cool, your brother, he's actually going to be fighting October 14th. As his brother, how much are you actually involved in the training that he does for his fights? Like, do y'all ever go back and forth, practice together? What's that like with him?
Yeah, for his other camps, I have been pretty involved. This one, I've been traveling like crazy. I was spending time with my girl, relaxing after the fight. So I haven't been in camp with him, which I want to. I'm hopefully heading there pretty soon. But yeah, it's always good to help him and be by his side and help motivate and support him.
Could we ever see a Paul versus Paul fight? Do you think he's worthy of that fight?
Nah, I don't wanna fight him. I don't wanna fight him. No one would win in that scenario. It's just stupid, and people think we're like marketing a fight, but we're not.
Well, one of my favorite social trends right now is the whole beige flag thing. You know what I'm talking about?
I haven't seen this.
So, if there's like a green flag, it's like, oh, somebody, like, this is their good qualities, and red flag is like big red flag,
Yeah.
So beige flag is like that in between of like, don't know if I like it, don't know if I hate it. I can't believe you don't know what this is. Okay.
Yeah,
well, I was gonna ask you.
I feel like I know about all the trends. I'm on TikTok. I really do this.
I know. Come on. Okay. Well, now you're gonna see it. I promise. So I was gonna ask you what your beige flag is. Like, what's your beige flag?
With relationships, for me personally, it's like I work so hard all the time, like constantly. I'm doing so many things, running different companies, training for fights, have 30 employees working for me. And so on one side, it's like that's super attractive because he's successful, has money, and is driven and dedicated and has charities and foundations, is helping other people. But then there's no time for me. So it's it kind of could go both ways, I guess. I don't know.
That was like the coolest beige flag ever. Mine was definitely lame compared to that. Okay. My beige flag is like, I'm obsessed with corn. I love corn. That's definitely my beige flag. Like, kind of weird. Like, why are you obsessed with corn, What's your brother's beige flag?
Oh, no. I think no. His beige flag is collecting Pokemon cards.
See, there's a good one. That's a good one.
Grow up. Or you could be like, damn.
Right. Last question for you. So we know you've checked off a ton of things early in your life, but what is one thing that you still like to try your hand in? Or is it just still full on boxing right now?
Yeah, no, definitely becoming world champion in boxing, but I want to try to be like an NFL wide receiver after that.
Ooh.
Just because.
It's going to be tough.
Yeah, no, yeah, for sure. I don't know if I can do it, but I'm probably going to try if I have the time still.
Hey sports fans, if you want to see more conversations with athletes and stars, check out these videos right here and be sure to subscribe for more from USA Today Sports.